welcome to today's show. Today we are going to be discussing the Alkaline Diet. If you follow me on social media, you saw that I posted about it. We're going to talk Alkaline Diet, what it means, should we be eating it? I'm going to give a recipe at the end. So please, please, please write questions and comments in the chat section. I love to interact with everybody that's watching the show. So please feel free to send questions, send comments. So let's talk about the Alkaline Diet. So maybe some of you have heard about it. It's been kind of popular here and there. Celebrities have been into it. And I guess apparently Victoria Beckham, the singer and designer and everything, she tweeted years ago that she was following the Alkaline Diet. And then it kind of, people caught wind of this and more celebrities started doing it. And so it was kind of a popular thing. So that's how it got kind of popular. So basically what it is the theory that eating alkaline foods is better for your health than eating acidic foods. And I'll back up a little bit on what that even means. So typically Americans tend to eat more of an acidic diet. And the theory is that having an alkaline diet brings us back into the norm, into like the mid-range. So little chemistry lesson. We talked about this, what week was it? Maybe the hydration week. Season 1, episode 45, if you missed it. We talked about alkaline water and what pH means. So the pH range goes from 0 to 14. 0 to 6.9 is acidic. 7 is neutral. 7.1 to 14 is alkaline. And so the theory is, and our blood is typically about 7.4. So it is mostly neutral, a little tiny bit into the alkaline zone. So the theory is we need to be eating these alkaline foods to get our body back to that pH of 7 to 7.4. But one thing to keep in mind is that there are different parts of our body that have, some places have more acid, some places are more alkaline. So for example, our stomach is very acidic. It has a pH of between 2 and 3.5 because we need that acid to break down food and digest and all of that. So there's no way that we would want that to be more alkaline because we need to break down our food. And so people that follow this diet typically measure it through their urine output. So there are these little strips that you can pee on and find out what if your urine is acidic or alkaline. And that is one measure. So basically, when we eat our food, our body breaks it down and metabolizes it. And one of the byproducts is called ash. And sometimes the ash is acidic and sometimes it is alkaline. And so the people that are following this diet are always trying to make it so that their output, the ash or whatever that you metabolize is, or the byproduct of the metabolism is in the alkaline range. And so for example, let's talk about what acidic foods are and what neutral foods are and what alkaline foods are. I'll just give a quick overview, then we'll go into some more details, and then we'll go into the theories, then I'll make a smoothie. So acidic foods are typically high protein, high phosphate, or high sulfur foods. So meat, dairy, eggs, fish, grains, poultry, alcohol, caffeine. Neutral are mostly just like fats, like oils. Alkaline foods are lots of green vegetables, most fruits and vegetables, some legumes, some nuts, avocados, and I'm going to go into more details of like what the exceptions are. And there are just a ton of ranges out there. Some people are really strict because they believe that something might be acidic, like a fruit might be acidic, but when we metabolize it more like an alkaline. So they're more interested in foods that will metabolize that way. Some people are more moderate. I'm going to be talking more moderate. The smoothie we're going to make is moderate. So, and I'm definitely not here to be promoting this diet or any diet really. I'm here just to give information. So this is the info. So so for example, let's say you ate a steak, which is acidic. Your byproduct, if you did the urine test, it would be acidic because our body just processed it that way. But that only lasts for a couple hours, and then your body regulates. Our kidneys are really good at regulating, the blood and how everything's metabolized. So basically, our body can get it back, but it's never in the blood. Like the blood isn't super affected by food that we eat, which is interesting. So with that in mind, I'll give you a couple of the theories that are out there about alkaline versus acidic foods. So there's a theory out there that a high acidic diet causes osteoporosis, which is the decreased bone density and increased risk of bone fractures. But there really is no research or out there. There have been clinical trials to look into this, and they have not found any impact of acidic foods on the bones. So there is that information. They have found that actually some foods that are acidic have calcium in them, and that helps to stimulate our bone repair and muscle growth bone growth and all of that. So that's just one theory, but yes, most of the research out there has not confirmed that. So that's one piece. And then there's another theory out there that high acidic diet causes cancer or makes cancer worse. But I did find that the American Institute for Cancer Research does not support that claim. They say that food does not influence our blood pH, that cancer does grow in normal tissues, and tumors actually create acidity rather than foods. So that was the information that I found. Basically, and they say that the alkaline diet is good for our overall health and our well-being because it can help our heart health and help decrease cholesterol and blood pressure and all of those good things. And that's mostly because it is a healthy mix because it's lots of fruits and vegetables, it's legumes, it's nuts, it's seeds. It is a plant-based diet. So that's good. That's a good thing. But everything that I read was saying, all the foods are good because it's a very pure whole grain or whole foods based diet, and it's better to just eat whatever fruits and vegetables and legumes and nuts that you want rather than being concerned about the alkaline component of it. So that's just something to keep in mind when considering this. I'm going to take a drink from my Cincinnati cup. So anybody have any questions so far? I'll continue. I'll continue talking. So the food list. So what to eat, what not to eat. I'll give a little bit more of an extensive list now. So foods to avoid, foods that are considered acidic, which I did mention before, but I'll go through that list and then I'm going to add some specifics. Dairy. Okay, so these are foods to avoid. These are acidic foods. Dairy, eggs, meat, most grains, although some people say whole grains are okay. All processed food. So anything that's processed, like any frozen food, that has lots of ingredients, or candies and cookies and cakes and mostly anything that has a lot of ingredients in it is considered acidic. Alcohol, caffeine, the two good ones. Pickled vegetables, canned or sugared fruits, and processed grains. So that goes back to the whole theory that whole grains are better, or whole grains are okay. And then, speaking of legumes, peanuts and lentils are considered acidic. Walnuts are considered acidic. I saw that in a lot of different places that talk about this. Fish, shellfish, we talked about that. So those are things to avoid. Things to eat. The alkaline foods are all the green vegetables. So kale, spinach, kelp, cucumbers, broccoli, and then moving on to other vegetables, beets, pretty much most vegetables. Avocados, I guess that's more of a fruit. Almonds, that's listed a lot as being alkaline, so I thought that was interesting. Flax seeds, coconut, sesame seeds, sunflower seeds. What else? Oh yeah, so most fruits and vegetables, soybeans and tofu, which I was a little confused about the tofu because I feel like that's kind of processed, but I guess it's still just soybeans. Whole grains, nuts and seeds for the most part, legumes, so beans. And yeah, some people, I read this, I don't know how it's actually consumed, but some people put baking soda in their water to make it more alkaline. Or some people have alkaline water filtration systems, so they're drinking more alkaline water. And we did talk about that on the hydration week, that there hasn't been a whole lot of information out there saying that it's that much better for you, but if it makes you drink more water, then do it. So that's basically the list. So today I have us making a smoothie, and I wanted to keep it somewhat moderate, but it's pretty much alkaline. I'm using almond milk. I saw a lot of alkaline recipes with almond milk in them, but I consider that a processed food just because there are several ingredients in almond milk. Let's see, it's not just almonds and water. That's the first ingredient, almond-based, filtered water and almonds, but it has like the tricalcium phosphate and sea salt, natural flavors, sunflower lecithin. So it does have binders and stuff in it, but we're going to make a moderate alkaline smoothie just because. And okay, so it's going to be a green smoothie. I haven't given it a name yet, so maybe I can get some ideas for names during the show. So let's make a smoothie. Alkaline smoothie. But yes, I agree that just eating lots of fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds and legumes is great. It's great. And that's better, I think, to just focus on eating those than trying to figure out the alkaline and the alkaline and the acidic ones. And I mean, I like eggs. I think they're great. We have chickens at our house, so we have eggs all the time. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to put in the ingredient that makes it green. We're going to do that first. Kale. Kale from our garden. Isn't that pretty? My husband grew it. I know I showed you kale the greens week. That was I have a list of all the episodes. That was season 1, episode 33, talking about all kinds of greens and lettuces. Check it out. It's a good one. Okay, so this is 2 leaves of kale. I took the rib off and then washed the leaf. And so 2 leaves. And we've got, I thought I would share how I'm going to take the peel off. We have a grapefruit. So that seems to be a very good alkaline fruit, which is interesting because I feel like that seems like it'd be pretty acidic. But apparently the way the body processes grapefruit makes it more alkaline. So what I'm going to do, here I'm going to turn the camera down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. I'm going to cut the ends off like so. So the tops are gone, or the top and the bottom, I guess, the ends. And then I'm just going to cut around the outside Get a little bit more of the pith of it all. So then we just cut around the sides. Okay, here we go. Oh, it smells so delicious, so refreshing. Okay, we just had a little beach getaway this weekend and ate lots of good food, so we are going to be eating more salads and fruits this week. So this was a good episode to be discussing fruits and vegetables. Okay, so I've cut all the sides off, and then I'll cut it in half, and then I'll cut each half in half. Excuse me. Put those in the blender. So I'll call it grapefruit quarters. Okay, now let me get these out of the way so we can continue making this smoothie. Okay, now I'm gonna put it back up so I don't have to crunch down. Okay, next, 1/4 cup of almonds, just because everybody talked so much about almonds being alkaline. So here we go, almonds. 1/4 cup. 1 tablespoon sesame seeds. I love putting sesame seeds. Well, you know what sesame seeds look like, but I just want to show you. I love putting sesame seeds in smoothies. It just is kind of something a little different, you know? And we're gonna do a tablespoon of coconut oil. So the Alkaline Diet isn't too big on fats, but it did say coconut, and I think it's important to get some good fats. So we'll do a tablespoon of coconut oil, which we also use for our moisturizer in our house. So just rub that on my hands. That's what's one nice thing about cooking with coconut oil. And 1 cup Trader Joe's almond milk. You know how I love talking about Trader Joe's. Okay, so this is just an estimate of 1 cup, but I've made so many smoothies in my life that I think I can gauge what 1 cup is. And I have recently been measuring it just to see, and I think that was about right. I think that was about 1 cup. We can always add more. Okay. That's right. I was going to add some frozen mango as well, but let's just see how this goes. Let's see how this goes first. Okay. Give it a taste. Okay, I'm going to be daring and put that in there as if we're not going to make any more. Okay, let's see. That's nice. You can taste a lot of the sesame. Very strong in the sesame. Also, almost tastes like tahini. That's delicious. So I think I'll call that sesame kale. That sounds good. Sesame kale. Like if I saw something at a restaurant that was called a sesame kale smoothie, I'd be very intrigued by it and I'd order it. So there we go. So that was our alkaline smoothie. That is 2 kale leaves, 1 grapefruit, 1/4 cup of almonds, raw almonds, a tablespoon of sesame seeds, a tablespoon of coconut oil, and a cup of almond milk. It was good. It's kind of a thinner smoothie, but that was really good. And it had all the components of the Alkaline Diet. So let's just review the alkaline diet. And then please, if you have any questions or comments or any ideas for next week, let me know here in the chat, or you can always send me a message on Instagram. My Instagram is at Alli Shircliffe, ALLISHIRCLIFF, at Alli Shircliffe. And I post all kinds of recipes and pictures and of food and my family. So it's fun. It's fun. But you can always send me a message that way. Hi, Alli. Oh, hi, Mercedes. I use alkaline water for drinks and coffee. I ate regular food. Do you recommend I continue drinking alkaline water? So, very good question. And I say, sure, that if it helps you drink more water during the day, then definitely. And it is definitely keeping, it'll keep you hydrated. And so, yeah, I think, like, I was reading an article that was saying that there wasn't a whole lot of research saying that drinking it had tons of benefits, but if the benefit is hydration, that is very good, because hydration is so good for us. So thank you for the question. Yes, I say continue drinking your alkaline water. I know some people really swear by it. We have some friends that have a whole filtration system in their house, very fancy, and they swear by it, and that's great. If it works and it tastes better to you, and you're drinking more water, then yeah, then it should. Then you should. So yeah, alkaline diet. I did do a little research on apple cider vinegar though too, because vinegars are typically acidic. But a lot of people talk about the apple cider vinegar, and I didn't do a ton of research, but some people believe that even though it's acidic, it's processed in our body as alkaline. So some people think that, drinking the apple cider vinegar in water is good for you. And I have to say that I have done that before, where I did read a whole book about the apple cider vinegar and how it's so great for you. And I think it tastes really delicious. So after a while, like, you start to crave it. And my mom and I talked about that before, that, you put like a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons or however much you put in, and then like a full glass of water. And then the first time you drink it, you're like, oh my goodness, that is intense. But then the more you do it, the more it starts to taste really delicious. And now with all of the kombucha drinks and everything, that kind of tastes like vinegar too. So that's a thing. Or you can add lemon juice. So that was interesting. So anyway, the bottom line is eat fruits and vegetables, eat nuts and seeds and whole grains and legumes, and follow this plant-based diet. I mean, it's totally okay to eat other foods as well, but most of the research out there is talking about fruits and vegetables. Eat a lot of them. And what is it? I think it's like 9 servings a day now. I haven't looked at it for a while, but that's good. That would be a great challenge. So that would mean you have to have fruits and vegetables, like 3 servings per meal. So that's a good challenge. Or you could start with 5 servings, whatever. Or I think, yeah, I'm going to have to look into that. We can talk about that in another week. Oh, sure, de nada. Thanks, Mercedes, for the question. And thanks for watching. And thank you everybody else that's watching as well. So thank you all for tuning in. Acidic diet versus alkaline diet. Alkaline foods are fruits and vegetables, legumes, nuts, seeds. Acidic foods are high protein items like meats, poultry, fish, dairy, alcohol. Well, that's not high protein, but alcohol, eggs, dairy. They say not to eat those. And then the neutrals are oils. So that's the alkaline diet in a nutshell. Bottom line, eat more fruits and vegetables. Let's see what else. I think that's about it for today. Does anybody else have any questions or ideas for next week? I'll be here for another minute or so, and otherwise, we can just stop here. And I'll see you again next week with a different topic. So thank you all for tuning in. Try this smoothie. I'll post it on my Instagram and other avenues as well, Twitter and Facebook and all of that. So try it. It's delicious. Green smoothies are always good. Okay, thank you all for being here. I will see you again next week. It's been great having you all here. I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye.